guys, welcome back. Hope you have been able to keep up with some of my most recent videos. If not, head over to the channel and check those out. But if you are new, thank you so much for checking it out. And if you enjoy this video, my other content, make sure to like and subscribe before you leave today. And shout out to any new subscribers and all the support and comments and everything on my channel. I really do appreciate it. Alright, so CinemaCon was just within the past couple of days, and that is an event that takes place every year. It's not really like a Comic-Con type of thing. It's more for like theaters and cinemas to get, ideas of what's coming up in the near future from different studios, and they present there. So we don't really get to see a lot of what goes on at CinemaCon. We do get to see like some pictures, maybe some quick interviews on the carpet, things of that nature, but it's different from like San Diego Comic-Con where you really see the panels, and we don't get as much in-depth view as fans into what goes on there. We kind of have to read articles about, media that's there. I want to highlight a couple of things, mainly regarding Henry Cavill, that were brought up at CinemaCon. Now, Henry Cavill was, of course, promoting his upcoming film, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which drops April 19th, with early screening starting April 13th. Again, I've been saying this like my past several videos, but I just love that Zack and Henry have movies coming out the same day, and they're both doing a lot of promoting right now for their films. Zack, of course, for Rebel Moon Part 2, and like I said, Henry for The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which is directed by Guy Ritchie, also starring Alan Ritson, Henry Golding, a lot of other, Isaac Gonzalez. So a lot of a pretty, I think great cast, and I think they're going to do very well together. So looking forward to this movie. I know I keep saying that, but I really think it's going to be fantastic. Here at CinemaCon, he was, talking about, there have been some pictures and clips of him from the event. But one thing I want to point out, that apparently he said, I don't know if there's a clip of him saying this or if it was in an interview that I haven't seen a clip of yet, but I still want to talk about it since the quote has been shared on social media. I guess Henry was making a statement or a comment about changing his facial hair because in the movie, of this upcoming movie, he does have, pretty full beard and, a little mustache. Henry Cavill talks about changing his facial hair at CinemaCon and references a controversial mustache at one stage that nearly ruined my career. Like mic drop. Oh my God. I'd love to have been in the room when he said that, because I can only imagine people's reaction when he said that. I'm just glad he put Warner Brothers on blast for that, because how dare them? If you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw that I tweeted this and said I will never forgive Warner Brothers for that. Like, that was just irredeemable, unacceptable. They humiliated Henry Cavill as a person, an actor, as Superman. Like, how do you do that to the most well-known character on the planet? Starting off this, amazing new universe that should have been, but with what Zack started them with, you're going to humiliate your top character in DC. Henry Cavill, who has, now at this point on the map, and is growing exponentially in his career. How do you do that to him? Everyone is anticipating his return in Justice League. And they did this to a person that is, we have seen is a genuine person who loved the character, who wanted to continue, put his all into this, and then you're going to do, the only thing I can say about it is that good thing that came from it is that it really showed how much the studio lied about the reshoots and how much they tried to diminish them, because the majority of his scenes were reshot. And that was the way that you could tell, is because of how his face looked. And so I'm glad that it outed Warner Brothers in that way. But I'm not glad that it came at his expense and the expense of Zack and the whole entire cast and everyone else involved. I'm never going to forgive them for that. And then he was still waiting for the call to return. Even after that, he was still like, I'm ready. Anytime they want me, I'm ready to pick up where we left off with Man of Steel. Then to make, just add salt to the wound, he got to announce a return and then quickly had to backtrack on that. So I know people in the comments, oh, get over it, oh, move on, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know, but he's still referencing it. That nearly ruined my career. Yeah, that's absolutely humiliating. Not just the way he looked, but the way that they changed his dialogue, the perception of his, everything. Thank God we got to see him rightfully vindicated in Zack Snyder's Justice League, because the theatrical version of Justice League, well, with the exception of Black Adam, would have been the last time we saw him on screen. Could you imagine? I mean, everyone's character got vindicated in the Snyder Cut. And you know what? Had it not been for the Snyder Cut, we might not have even got to see him in Black Adam. That would have been his last appearance. Oh my God. Thank goodness the fans just kept at it and we got to see Zack's movie, because no. Also, in addition to talking about the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, we know that he is going to star in the Highlander reboot, directed by Chad Stahelski. And he teased, if you thought you'd seen me do sword work before, you haven't seen anything yet. And so I love that comment, because his sword work in The Witcher, I mean, I love it. It's phenomenal. And he also mentioned that they're getting really deep into these characters, and he's, excited about what they are doing with the movie. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. And now, speaking of Zack and Henry and all of this stuff together, Zack Snyder is also in the new issue of Empire magazine with an article. And I don't have the whole article here. I do want to point out some things that have been coming out from the article so far on social media. And if there's anything else to mention, I'll make sure to make videos for those too. I first of all just want to point out this beautiful artwork that they have made for the article. I just love it. Into the Snyderverse has all of great. Oh my God, I love this. This is fantastic. This would be an amazing poster. So shout out to Empire for this beautiful artwork. I absolutely love it. One thing that Empire did that was really cool for this article is they invited fans to send in questions, and they asked him about these things. Obviously, one thing that people always want to ask him, no matter what he's doing in his career, is would he continue the Snyderverse via animation, comic book, graphic novel, live action, whatever. Netflix, all that stuff has come up. So when asked if he would be interested in finishing his Justice League trilogy in animated form, he said, yeah, absolutely. That'd be fun. That'd be cool. He's not going to say no. Why would he say no? I mean, granted, I don't think that Warner Brothers, even the new leadership under James Gunn and them, I don't think they deserve to work with him or deserve to continue to profit and, benefit from his work. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't want to see it either. It's a hard spot to be in. Pamela Abdi and Michael DeLuca are the only ones that I would have faith in as far as leadership at Warner Brothers right now is concerned. Also kind of talked about the Wonder Woman 1854 story, which he started kind of learning about just because he was sitting in front of that beautiful poster, that beautiful photo of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman with all of these soldiers from different, tribes and cultures and, leaders' severed heads in her hand. And we've kind of learned a little bit more about that because obviously people started asking about it, and Zack had shared. He also talked about it in Empire magazine, and he said the idea of that was an early riff we were doing. Once Wonder Woman left the island in search of Ares, what happened to her in her different incarnations? My idea for it was that she would travel around the world looking for Ares, and she would go to every place where there was conflict. And we've kind of heard him talk about that before. The resulting story would have been a combination of love and war. On those battlefields, she found these lovers, warriors, and they would age out because she's immortal, obviously. They would be her lover for 10 years, or they might die in battle. And it was probably sad for a lot of the guys because they would see her starting to be nice to the next young soldier and be like, oh, I'm being replaced. But all the guys that she had with her were those loyal warriors she found on the battlefields all over the world. So she kind of collected all these warriors as she went around to different conflict while on her journey to find Ares. Ultimately, the story would have led Diana to Chris Pine, Steve Trevor. Zack said, we talked about if Steve Trevor was there in Crimea. He went on to say, it was never a screenplay, but we talked about it so much that it kind of had its own life. So he elaborated a little bit more on that from what we've heard before. Then, of course, came up the question that always has been controversial about the Snyderverse is Batman killing, and, obviously Superman killed Zod in Man of Steel. And he was asked, he said he's not surprised that these things that, these aspects of the movies ruffled a few feathers and upset some people. He said, the only reason I'm not surprised is that some people got brainwashed by a bunch of material that's not consistent with true canon, and that's fine. They're on their own journey. So I like that comment from him, totally agree with. Of course, for the Snyderverse, Henry Cavill's, all of these are the hot topics right now on Twitter, and Henry Cavill pretty much just had to show up at CinemaCon for that to happen. And, I think that comment about the mustache and talking about Highlander and everything is just Warner Brothers. you lost, man. Like, you just lost. You lost him. He is just on an uphill trajectory, and they're in opposite direction, if you ask me. I'm so happy for both of them that they are getting praise and recognition and appreciation that they deserve. And I am going to be here to support everything they do moving forward, because it should have been that way before. And also The Witcher. They lost Henry Cavill too, and that was dumb of them to not be willing to, you know, make adjustments to the writing and stuff like that he wanted to do for his character. They chose to, well, you know, good luck with that. I do want to see him come back for more Sherlock Holmes at Netflix, so I think that'd be fun. I know people are going to be in the comments, you only like Zack, you only like Henry, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm big fans of them, and so when they say or do or share something that I think is interesting to talk about, I'm going to share it. Sorry. Not sorry. But thank you guys again for your support on the channel. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and check out the link in the description for my Hive marketplace. I appreciate all the support. Thank you guys. See you soon.